Now talk about the weird topics and the conspiracy topics. You kind of need a foil. I need someone to lighten the mood when it gets dark. He'll just come in with, he'll just start singing a song or something. It just like I'll ruin my train of thought, but it just lets the audience go, oh, it's just, we're not taking it too seriously. Or yeah, we're talking about the CIA's throwing people out of the window. Right? That's the story. All right, it happened. It's for sure. But we can have a little fun along the way. But also, he serves as the voice of the audience. So if I'm saying something totally outrageous, I know that people watching are going to be going, "What are you talking about?" So if I'm talking about quantum mechanics or quantum theory, he will hop in and call me Poindexter and a nerd or whatever, and say, some of us actually went to our prom, we didn't stay home and write programs. So can you explain, please, what the double slit experiment is? He serves as stand-in for the audience and a pressure release valve. Genius. It was Jen's idea. I said, I need a sidekick just to sit there. She said, why don't you have a goldfish in a bowl? I was like, that's a good idea.
Damn. When in the journey did he come? Was he
Day one? And he's come a long way too. He's definitely had some face work done over the years. I guess it's sense. He's got a good Botox, got a clean shave. Kind of settled into our rhythm. I hope people don't get sick of it because, in rewatching my episodes to just refresh myself to come in here and see, which is so hard to do. I'm watching, I'm like, I've been doing the same thing for like 4 years. Same format, the same. So I hope it continues to resonate.
Works though.
I try to let it evolve in small ways, production value, music and sound and all that. But it's still basically the same format.
I think I'm with you. I'm always looking for ways to improve the show, bring it to the next level. And I got to the point where we were just chasing our tails. So let's redo the thumbnails. Let's do this. Let's change the intro. Let's take this out. Let's put this out. It just got to the point where I was like, man, these are some moves. And I mean, we did just upgrade to the new studio yesterday. But
it's bananas, by the way.
Thank you.
You should go back to stage 20.
I probably will.
It's pretty crazy.
But what I did, is I realized Jason Taylor really shows where it's got great things. I set it up that way and it's a really is we started refocusing that energy into building new things. I think definitely creative. You seem like a creative as well. And so I just took with my creativity. And so I started focusing on these businesses, that we're going to launch before the end of the year. And those have become my new creative outlet because it just got to the point I was like, I don't know how to improve what I have. And I love what I have, but it's not feeding that creative outlet that I need and crave. And so I refocus that into these other businesses and the design of the studio and the shooting range and all everything that we have here. That was my creative outlet for about a year, building this and making the best experience for the guests, for myself, for my team. And then once that was designed, then I started moving into the business stuff, and that's my new creative outlet.
Do you think that focusing on minutia like you did, because I've gone through that, do you think that was trying to assuage some anxiety at the time?
Probably.
As it is for me.
Myself,
everyone here is amazing and really friendly, but I was talking about this with Jeremy, who's incredible, what a find. It's a tight ship here. Like, you're hitting your marks and go take the photo and do all this stuff. There's a system in place. As family-oriented and as fun as it is, I mean, it's super fun. Shooting a Winchester is a highlight of my month. But you're very organized here. people compliment me on my studio when they come by. They're like, I've never seen anything like this. And I'm in here like, oh my goodness, I'm doing everything wrong. I've got so much more to do.
Dude, you are doing everything right.
If you saw my studio, you'd be like, yeah, grab a clipboard. We got to have some work. You know, I can help you with my grip. You can help me with my lighting as well.
Oh, right on, right on. But well, let's move in. I want to talk about the moon landing. That was the first. So my editor, who you met, Darren, knows all about this stuff, and he's the one that got me interested in it. And so I started looking things up on the internet and came across you, and I was like, this is by far the best explanation I've ever heard. It's all in there. At least I think it's all in there. And so I want to dive in there. What got you interested in the moon landing?
That was an episode that people just demanded. I didn't want to do it because everyone's done the moon landing. And are you talking about the Stanley Kubrick? Because I've done a few videos. I think I have all covered.
I've already watched all of them. I know the Stanley Kubrick thing was in there, the shadows down the line, but let's go into it. I want to hear all of it.
So I debunked a lot of that moon landing stuff. A lot of that episode is based on Bart Sibrel's. Bart Sibrel, it had a documentary quite a while ago, maybe 20 years. A funny thing happened on the way to the moon, I think is the name of it. And if you're into moon stuff, that's the documentary to watch. And Bart's someone who I trade email with. Who I told him, I as soon as I'm ready, I gotta have him in here because he knows everything about it. But I debunked a lot of his stuff in the documentary, but I couldn't debunk all of it. There were some weird things about, when you see the astronauts, and it looks like there's wires, reflections off the wires. It's hard to explain that. I tried to. I said, the way that piece of equipment is, it could be this, but I agree it looks weird. And the way the astronauts fall doesn't look natural. But it's 1/6 gravity. It could be weird. I try to be open-minded to all of it. And it's an episode that it still confounds me. But I go back and forth depending on who I talk to about whether it really happened. And I think the percentage of Americans who don't believe that we went to the moon, it's just rising every year. I hope I have nothing to do with that. I'm sure he had something to do with that. But they lost the tapes, all the original tapes of the moon landing. What you watch when Neil Armstrong runs off the LEM, One Small Step for Man, that's not a direct feed from anything. That was projected on a wall at NASA, and the networks aimed their camera at the wall to get like this projection, and the networks were like, hey, can we just get the direct feed, because that would be a lot better. They're like, no, we're going to do it this way. And then they lost all those tapes. They lost the telemetry, and when asked why don't we go back, NASA said, well, we can't replicate that technology. It's too difficult. It's complex. So
I don't know what you call it. We can't get past a certain point, supposedly. They said and they looked at your episode, they're like, we lost the technology. It's like you lost the technology to get us to the moon. You just happened to lose it?
Nobody where did it go? They just lost it. You might be talking about the Van Allen radiation belt.
That's it.
Right, which is high velocity particles, and it's this energetic field that surrounds the Earth and is very dangerous. And if you're aware of something called the South Atlantic anomaly, it's this part of our geomagnetic field that is burning a hole through it. If you look at it on like an electromagnetic map, it's just a big hole. It's getting bigger, and now it's starting to branch off into a second one, and nobody knows why that's happening. And geomagnetism and the pole shifts and all that, I can go down that rabbit hole too, because all that stuff terrifies me. Solar radiation and the grid going down, all that stuff terrifies me. So the Van Allen radiation belts, that you have NASA astronauts saying, oh, we think we found a way now that we can get out of, high Earth orbit, that we can finally get past the Van Allen radiation belts. Like, we already did that, man, didn't we? Didn't we do that 17 times or whatever? But they forgot. They lost it. Can't replicate it.
Unbelievable.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it either.
So just let us know what's going on.
On top of that, there was a space race or a race to the moon between us and Russia during the Cold War.
Russia was first to everything. We were behind on everything. Russia has first Sputnik goes up. Sputnik 2 goes up. First man-made satellite in orbit. First man in orbit. First animal in orbit. First woman in orbit. First spacewalk. First geostationary satellites. All first. And we're falling behind. And you can hear JFK giving speeches. You know, when they're pressing him on it, and like the Saturn program's not going well, and the rockets are blowing up on the launch pads, and he's saying, like, no matter how much money we throw at it, we're going to be second. We're going to be second. You can hear him talk about it. And then suddenly, we're there. We surpass all of it. We surpass all of the Soviets' accomplishments, and we go and we land on the moon. Okay. It seemed like we took a great leap forward there.
One thing they like you.
But there's really no explanation for it.
Did we? Yeah.
Well, where do you stand on it?
I'm like you. I go back and forth. I mean, I wonder what I would think had we not been through COVID and all these other things, the Epstein, all these other things that keep coming out that destroy any trust in any government institution there is.
Every COVID conspiracy that I talked about just came true. But but to me it was always obvious. And the big problem with that is, you were vocal as well, and I was very nervous about my opinions on COVID, but I hope that I didn't just get lucky. You know, those of us that were doubting, and those that thought it was just kind of a power grab, I hope we didn't just get lucky, because when the next pandemic comes and they want to do lockdowns, Americans are not going to do it. Even like the middle of the road people are going to be like, I can't do that again. I can't put my kids on Zoom again. I'm not doing it. And if it's a real pandemic like the Spanish flu or something, we're going to be in trouble.
Or Ebola. Something serious, man.
So that's chickens coming home to roost when you're so secret, when there's such a lack of transparency, when it's so corrupt. You know, I understand that there needs to be some secrecy. Yeah, I attack FBI, CIA, and NSA all the time. But I still want them there. I still want them to have the tools that they need to do their jobs. I want America to be the most powerful country on the planet. I want us to have the best military in the world. I just don't want us to use it that often. But overall, I want transparency in what we're doing. And we don't have any of that.
Not one bit.
So then there's going to be no trust.
Now, if those things hadn't have happened, you know, it's interesting because I don't know my psyche, you know what I mean? And now it's like anything. It gets to the point where it's like anything that is put out, it's like, you know, that's a distraction. That's bullshit. That didn't happen. There's no way. That definitely happened, and you're saying it didn't. Epstein. You know, and you know, and then I mean, shit. Half of Trump's, it appeared to me, there was a lot of chatter about releasing the Epstein files and all this other shit. And then we get in there and it's like everybody's beating the same damn drum. Oh no, look over here. Oh, Russiagate. And it's like, yes, right. Because we're diving into Russiagate when the entire American population, both the right and the left, are screaming, release the Epstein files. But let's concentrate on this. Let's concentrate on this. Right?
And when we're not, for 2 years I've been saying this, and I get a lot of heat from it. We're not going to get the list. There's no list. We're not going to get it. Everyone wants to talk about that it's some sex trafficking ring. That's part of it. It's a blackmail operation. It's a whitewashing operation.